What up, B Squad? It is me, JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Rated to Love. This is what season is this, y'all? Season 11, reunion part one. Part one of this reunion was rather interesting, I would say. But yeah, if you guys watched part one of the reunion, drop down in the comment section or in the live and let me know what you guys thought about it. And before we get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you're not subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's get into this reunion of Rated to Love, shall we? Now, I will say before I came on, I saw the comment from you, Chuck. You spoke. What up, Chuck? But then you said these boys are worthless. My God, today, the just pure trash of these men. What up, C Golden? Like just utter trash, in my personal opinion. But you guys will tell me what you think and what you feel. So the reunion. I mean, it's Rated to Love, so it ain't, the fashions ain't much to talk about. Everybody going to different events, so that's I don't have a not like with unlike with the housewives, I don't have a best dress, none of that. So the reunion. Now there is one part of the reunion that I didn't take any notes on, and that was when they were playing the Guess Who game. I couldn't care less about that Guess Who game. So if you guys wanted to talk about it, then leave it in the comments section or in the live. Because again, I ain't pay attention to it because it just wasn't something that I found 5%, 3%, 2%, 1% interesting, right? The reunion. So the reunion starts up and it was just very interesting. So Tommy let us know exactly, Chuck. I thought it was stupid too. So the reunion opens up, and Tommy lets us know that Diamond wasn't going to be at the reunion. And I was like, who is Diamond? A lot of this part of this reunion, there was one person in particular that I kept looking at that man. I was like, I do not remember this man's name to save my life. Like literally, at first in my notes, it had what did my note have? My note had the guy with the tattoos because I couldn't remember his name, but I think somebody said his name. I was like, okay, that's his name because that was gonna be his name for this reunion was the guy with the tattoos. So Diamond isn't there, but they showed who Diamond was. I was like, oh, I remember Diamond. It was the girl who had the eccentric looking clothing. Got it. Yeah, it was a man. I think it was a man and a woman that left first, but Diamond was one of the first ones to leave this season. Donna was a woman. She was a woman that had them ugly ass. Oh God, I didn't mean to say that. I did say it though. She was a woman that had them funny looking dresses in the beginning of the season. But I think she was the first woman that went home. I think I vaguely remember her, but I do know she was one of the first ones. If not the first, actually, she is the first woman that left this season. That's who Diamond is, right? So we start up with our first couple, Vince and Donna. What I'm gonna say is, what was up with Donna's hair? Like, I was entirely confused by Donna's hair because it was just given way too much. Like, Donna's hair was doing way too much for me. Oh, you say you missed the first two or three episodes. So yeah, so Tommy asked about the timeline. He's like, "What is y'all's timeline?" And Donna was like, "Y'all who?" So we get deeper into this situation with Donna and Vince, right? So Donna says that she went to a coffee house, right? She saw Lauren there, and her and Lauren were having a conversation, and Lauren was letting it be known that she was still dating certain people from the show, and then the last name they got down to was Vince, and I was like, oh. And this is after Vince and Donna had chose each other, right? Chuck, you say Donna had too many bundles in. It was something because that hair was just a lot for me. So I was sitting here thinking to myself, it was like, okay, so Vince was talking to we're gonna put a little pin in this for right now, but at this particular moment in the reunion, Vince was after he made his choice to pick Donna, he was talking to Donna and to Lauren. So I was like, okay, were y'all exclusive? Because that was really what my big question was. Were Donna and him exclusive? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Vince ain't that much of a looker in my personal opinion, but hey, some of you guys may find Vince attractive, but I think it was a jokey. I think it was him always joking so much that kind of was like, ugh, do you know how to be serious? So, like I said, I was wondering, like, were y'all exclusive? Were y'all serious with each other? Was it you, my man, I'm your girl, you can't talk to nobody else, like that kind of situation? You say, wait, who else is Lauren dating from the show? Now, Donna didn't say. So maybe we'll get that in part two, because Donna didn't say, but she did say that she listed off some guys that she was still dating, and the last name that she got to was Vince's name. So she didn't say, and I think she did that out of respect for Lauren, right? And I'm cool with that, right? If Lauren wants to talk about it, which I'm pretty sure she probably will in next week's part two of the reunion, because we really haven't even gotten into a Lauren segment at this particular point. So I respected Donna for that. So then Vince is like, well, Donna and I, we had the understanding that we weren't exclusive and that we were dating other people. And I was like, okay, so I don't really see a big issue here, right? But Donna says that, and I get where Donna was coming from. Donna's whole thing is not the fact that you're dating someone else, it's the fact that we just literally said we choose each other, and you still are talking to Lauren, and you didn't even communicate that with me, like, hey, I do choose you, but we're still in the early stages of this, and I just want to, I want to cultivate this, but I'm still, conversing with Lauren. He could have done that easily, but honestly, when it came to Vince, and I'm gonna speak about this because it's in my notes next. I actually agreed with Donna, and it's not because of what Donna. It's not even what Donna said that made me question Lauren. It's what is Lauren and herself. Vince called you a bitch. Now you didn't know about it, but I'm sorry. He called you a bitch and you still continue to pursue him. Now, Donna's whole thing is, you were basically, she questioned her self love to date someone who had already picked somebody else, and now you're playing second string to that person. That ain't what I was, that's not where I was coming from. Again, I was coming from the sense of the man called you a bitch and you still pursued a situationship with him, right? So Lauren says when she found out that she ended things with Vince, girl, I still don't care. It is what it is. Uh, Chuck, you say I thought Vince was the honest. I thought Vince was the honest ninja. He turned out to be a he's a piece of shit in my personal. But I figured that from the time he called that girl a bitch. Yeah, it's a line by omission. Lauren has no or low self esteem. She ain't the only one, because we'll get into the next person that I think got low self esteem as well. So the next person we have on the so we move on, and so we have Cardi and some of the ladies. It was Cardi. I know Ashley was next to him, and Dominique was on the other side of Ashley, and then on the other side, I know it was Ashante, and I can't remember who else was on the couch with Ashante them. But we're talking about Cardi, right? So first of all, I was so confused with Cardi. What was up with that top hat that Cardi had on? That top hat was throwing me off because 1 minute the top hat was on, the next minute the top hat was off. And I was like, sir, what's going on here? And it didn't even, in my personal opinion, it didn't really match the suit, but we'll neither here nor there. You say true, Nicole, and Nicole may needed to see a therapist. We gonna get into Nicole in a minute. My God, today, Nicole, I'm gonna pray for you, babes. So Tommy asked Cardi, does he feel that the ladies misinterpreted who he? Well, Tommy asked him about the ladies feeling that he was shallow, right? So Cardi feels that the ladies may have misinterpreted him, right? And he started talking once again in metaphors and time like you're doing it real time. So Dominique was like, you know what? When it came to Cardi, I was cool with him. And Ashley was like, well, for me, because Ashley's the one that called him shallow. Ashley was like, well, for me, I just wanted him to let me in kind of the same way he did with Deshante, right? Well, Ashley, that right there should tell you something. If he didn't open up to you the way that he did with Deshante, you weren't someone that he was really truly connecting with, right? And weren't you connecting with Beijing Darius? So whatever, Ashley. I also will say Ashley got on my nerves, but it wasn't at this particular part of the reunion. But Ashley did get on my nerves at one point, right? And we'll definitely discuss when Ashley got on my damn nerves. So Ashante was like, I disagree. I don't think that Cardi is shallow. She was like, with Cardi, she's like, I think Cardi is particular about who he tells things to and who he opens up to. And I was like, that one I can agree with too, right? I mean, that could be that's the same for anyone. Again, if I'm not interested in you, if I don't have a connection, a romantic connection towards you, then it's going to be surface level, right? We're gonna build a friendship with each other, not a long lasting relation. Well, a friendship can be a long lasting relationship, but a long lasting romantic connection, right? So we did talk about Cardi's ex, and Ashante was like, they both had her, she didn't like the situation, and they both had her fucked up. And Ashante, I absolutely agree. So Cardi, he says that he apologizes to her and he wished that he had done more in that particular situation, right? So then Tommy asked him, are you talking to, have you been, talking to anybody since the process ended? He was like, I keep in touch with a few people here and there. And he was like, anybody that you want to, basically kind of put a name on it. And Carter was like, not really. And I was like, Tommy, why are you like, Tommy was digging for him to say a name. He was digging for a name. I was like, oh my God, Tommy, you like a dog with a fucking bone at this point, right? You say Ashley definitely worked my nerves too. You say, JB, how long were most of these people around each other? That's a good question. Because I know they're ready to love. This show is very fast paced, right? I think this show films. I think this is a 3 to 4 week process, if I'm not mistaken. Ready to Love is like I think they filmed this show maybe a month or so, not even 2 months. I know that for sure. I think it's maybe 3 to 4 weeks that they filmed this show. It's very fast paced. So honestly, nobody knows each other. But we'll talk about that once we get towards the end of the episode too, because I got a lot of things to say about that. Oh, you say Tommy knows something about Cardi. He might. He might. Just never know. Okay, you guys. So the next, oh God, we finna go down a rabbit hole of desperation at this point. You say that's not enough time to know someone. It's not. Yeah, Ready to Love is a very fast-paced show. For us, we get what 10, 12 episodes, but for them, it's a very quick process. So we segue over to Nicole. I'm gonna be here for a minute with Nicole. So we see Nicole's package, right? And Tommy asked Nicole why was she so emotional when she told Ed he was not ready to love, right? Because he was like, when you look at that footage, it looked like you the one that's getting sent home and not Ed, right? And she was trying to explain it, right? She was having a conversation. She was because she was like, so what it is her and Ed had went on their first date the day before he went home. So it was still fresh for her. I was like, Nicole, baby, beloved, come here. Come here. And I'm saying this to you, and I'm saying, if you see this, Nicole, I'm saying this with love, right? This is, I'm not being funny, I'm not being facetious. There's no malice in what I'm about to say. So that was your first date with him, right? And again, I know that this is a fast-paced process, but he's shown nothing to, like, he's shown no intention towards you, right? And if a, not even just a man, if a person is interested in you in the slightest bit, they're going to show some kind of they're going to show something, they're going to do something, right? They're going to show, hey, I like you, I'm feeling you, like let's do this, let's do that. If you have to make all the first steps and y'all and do all the initiate everything, then it's very one-sided. And from everything that we saw this season with you and Ed, it was always one sided. It was always you initiating conversations, initiating things with him. He didn't do anything. And even in this reunion, he still told you what it was. But the thing is, he was too cowardly to say it during the show, because during the show, I felt like he saw you as someone who would speak up for him in in the lounge with the ladies, that would keep him further in the process. But it didn't help him because he wasn't opening up to any of the other women, right? I need Nicole's psych evaluation. So then she's having a conversation. So she was talking about the fact that their first date was the day before, right? And so Ashley over here is where she got on my nerves, right? So Ashley's like, but y'all went to college 15 years ago. The way Ashley was trying to say it, it was like they went to college in that 15 years time span. No, they went to college. It was 15 years ago. She liked him then. She still likes him today, or at that, or during filming, and she never expressed it, right? And neither did he, because he never liked her in that way, right? But I wanted Ashley just to shut up, because that ain't got nothing to do with you. Like, mind your business. Worry about that man over there that wears that Beijing that talked down to you, that you cried at the finale about, and you still ended up picking. Worry about that, Ashley, and less about Nicole, right? Because you and Nicole are both kind of in the same boat. Because I don't understand how you can pick a mate. Never mind. We're not even going to talk about that, because we didn't even get anything with you and Beijing Darius in part one of the reunion. So I'm not going to go there. But yeah, sit still, Ashley, because I feel like next week we're going to get into you. So Tommy asked Ed if he felt the same way. And Ed was like, can you repeat the question? I was like, really, dude? You, first of all, I don't know what Nicole sees in you, right? Like, okay, whatever, cool. She thought he was handsome. That's her prerogative, right? So I was like, Nicole, this is what you got all season, and he continues to give this to you. Like, he's avoiding and evading questions, purpose on purpose. I would have backhanded Ed, because it's like, dude, now is the time that you can drop the facade and be real and be honest with me, and be real and honest with yourself, right? Because he was really getting on my nerves. Uh, you say Ed is a dumbass. He is. So ultimately, he's like, yeah, well, we have a great friendship, and I don't want to ruin that. Say what now? Like, you do know that there are people who have that were friends with each other, and also there are people out there that married their real life best friends, right? They're real good friends with each other, but they realize that, hey, it's something more here. Like, you can be friends with someone and still date that person, marry that person, but whatever. It was just an excuse for him with Nicole, because again, he ain't look at Nicole like that. He wasn't attracted to Nicole. Nicole, we're gonna have another conversation real quick. So Tommy asked her, since this process has ended, has she been in contact with anyone? So she says yes. She's been talking to Devon and to Vince. So now she feels away because of what she heard earlier. And what she's speaking of is what she heard from Donna about Vince dating Lauren, right? Because she says, and then you got the peanut gallery over here, and the peanut gallery is Ashley and Dom. Put a name on it, sis. Put a name on it, sis. Dominique, you might want to pipe down and keep it on mute because you ain't in a better. Your situation is no better than hers. Actually, your situation is worse than Nicole's. Because if I would rather be Nicole than you in this particular moment. Because hey, granted, and granted, we're gonna get into Nicole and we're gonna dig deeper into Nicole, but I would much rather be Nicole than Dominique with that man who I knew from the jump was full of games. None of the men featured in part one, Vince, Ed, Cardi, Bello, are good men. Cardi, I don't know if I would say he's not a because we don't know too much about Cardi, but Vince, Ed, and Bello, Vince, Ed, and Bello, I will definitely give you. So we move on, right? So Nicole says that she didn't even know that Vince had picked Donna because they. So she said they were having a conversation a week prior. If it wasn't a week prior, it was a day prior. But I think she said a week prior to them filming the reunion, right? So everybody backstage like, oh shit, like what's going on up there? So and then Vince comes in and like Vince, she talking about you, and you can see the look on Vince's face. He's like, oh shit, I'm fucked. Yes, you are. Here's the thing, Vince. It's okay to with this process until you lock in and say, hey, we're in a relationship. You're a single man and you're free to see, date, and at this point, I guess we can be honest and say have sex because clearly you've had sex with somebody. We'll talk about that in a minute, right? So backstage, so we get backstage, right? So Nicole is saying that Vince never really told her about Donna. She did ask him questions, but he wasn't forthcoming, kind of like it was with Donna. But then he over here downplaying everything, right? Vince effed himself. He did. So he over here basically saying that him and Don, what he's trying to say is him and Donna were not together because I guess he's trying to say Donna found out about Lauren. So this is his roundabout way of basically trying to say he ain't lied to nobody, but you clearly did, sir. A lie by omission is still a lie. And then Nicole was like, but we had sex. And I was like, oh God, girl. And so then she extends her because and he's sitting here telling her this looks messy on your part. No, it don't look messy on her part. It's messy on your part, sir, because you were playing these women. That's the problem with you. You were trying to play games with them. And again, I don't know what they see in him. You say Vince is similar to Destiny on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I ain't watched that show in so long, so I don't know what's going on with Destiny over there in the Huntsville streets, but I've heard what's going on, but I just don't know the full particulars. So Nicole is extending her hands for him to hold her hands. Then she hugging him. I was like, Nicole, get a backbone. Why are girl, this man is sitting here gaslighting you, and you still are interested in him. It it must be the penis. Because why? When you just literally heard Donna say he picked me, but he was still talking to Lauren, and now we find out he was still talking to you, and he had sex with you, and now he's backstage downplaying it and calling you messy. But okay. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. What's her name? Nicole. Good luck to you. You say Vince preys on low self-esteem women. That's probably all he can get. That's because I mean, my God. But hey, Nicole, if that's what you like, I don't know why, but I want better for you, and I hope you want better for yourself. I really hope this all. I really hope you want better for yourself. So we'll move on, you guys. So next up, we got who I call Cash App Tina, Christina, aka Ina, but for the sake of me, Cash App Tina. So she says, so she's on the stage, right? And you guys remember the whole big thing with Cash App Tina, which is the reason that I gave her the name Cash App Tina, is because of the whole massage thing, right? So she's saying that she didn't ask a man for not one thing. I was like, huh? I'm pretty clear. I'm pretty sure you did. Like you even said it that you asked them. Now you may not have been like indirectly asking them to pay for it. You may have been in a roundabout way testing them, but you absolutely did ask them to take care of that massage, which again, I don't have a problem with that. It's not a bad thing. If you're the like kind of like what Bella said, if you're the kind of person who likes acts of service and gifts as your love language, that's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. And I think you could have went about things differently than just kind of outright saying that. You could have worded things a lot differently because, and I'm just speaking from how they're probably perceiving it. This is not how I perceive it or anything of the sorts, right? But these men, and we see how these men operate, these men could have easily been like, oh, hell no, she a gold digger. She a gold digger. All that one is my money. Like, hell no, I ain't fucking with her. So I think in a way you could have easily said, hey, you could have sparked the conversation by saying, what's your love language? you know, which I forget what all the love languages are, but you could have been like, okay, well, cool. Well, me, I'm someone who like acts of services and gifts, right, as my love language. Are you okay with that? But whatever. You say that's when I started watching the episode after Tina was eliminated. I saw that recap and thought, girl, you, girl, you go hoe, girl. Oh, girl, you a hoe. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it that way. Because again, like I said, I don't have a problem with her asking. I don't have a problem with her wanting a man that can take care of her, right? If that's if that's what she desires, that's what she desires, and that's not a problem to me. But make sure that you have your own as well, and don't always just solely rely and depend on a man. Is my whole thing. So Devon says that yeah, we talked about it, and honestly, I thought that I was the one that came up with the conversation. He said it was natural. And he thought it was his idea. Now I don't know who it was that was backstage, and I think it was Ashley who is really getting on my fucking nerves. Somebody called him a simp. I was like, I'd rather a simp than I would rather a simp than the Beijing wearing user next that you chose. According to that girl Ash, whatever, not Ashley, according to that girl Nicole, who says that he used her and took her for whatever, I would rather having a simp than a con artist, a grifter, and a man that wears Beijing in his fucking hair. But hey, who am I? You say I only saw the recap though. I'm glad it was fleshed out at the reunion. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So yeah, moving. So yeah, Ashley was getting on my nerves, right? So then the guy who I said at the beginning of the review that I kept saying in my notes, the guy with the tattoos, his name is Chris. I don't remember Chris, but Chris said that he knew nothing about it and he found out about it through conversation. And then he was like, oh, and dude paid for it. Okay, what is that? Like, I don't get where you come. I don't get what the purpose of that um, comment was, but okay, whatever. Who cares? Not me. But hey, whatever, right? So then she started to explain herself and she started to cry. I was like, Christina, why are you crying? But I mean, hey, it is what it is. She in her emotions, and I'm not gonna sit here and tell her not to cry. I was just confused why she was crying. That is it, and that is all, right? So then Vince, he was like, so it was less about the money, and he was like, so what about the qualities that do the qualities outweigh the money? She was like, Yes, that's what it was. And she was like, for someone that I had no interest in, you have a whole hell of a lot of questions. I was like, come on, Christina, put him in his place. And that was the end of that segment. So then we get to the last segment of part one of the reunion, and this one was a doozy. And they are on my screen currently. Dominique and Bellow. So Dominique says, from day one, she picked him. Girl, we knew that. We knew that from day one you picked Bello and his Beijing in the beginning of the season, right? And she says, but things happen and things don't. So Tommy was like, you keep talking in a past tense. He's like, so what's going on? She said, he met my family and my kids, and we saw each other like 2 or 3 times a week. And again, Tommy is noticing she's talking in the past tense, right? So she says on Christmas Eve, Bello called her and told her he can't do this, right? But she says 2 days before, this man was in my bed. I was like, that's not really a flex that he was in your bed 2 days before. That means he knew. Here's the thing, Dominic, you're a very beautiful woman. But the thing was, Bello knew he don't want you. But what Bello wanted to do 2 days before was have sex with you one last time before he ended things with you, right? And so she said, and we went out on a date with my kids. I was like, why would you introduce this man to your kids so fast? But hey, it's your life. Live it how you want to live it, right? So she says that he called her on Christmas Eve and told her that he felt that, she wasn't the woman for him because she doesn't fit in his future because he wants a wife and he wants kids, right? So then Bello comes with this kind of bullshit ass excuse, in my personal opinion. He said like he felt like they were in a vacuum, and my the last relationship that I was in, she told me that I should have just released her. I was like, Bello, shut the fuck up. Shut up. So I was just releasing her. Shut up. Oh, you say I always thought Dominique was a woman. I always thought Dominique was a woman. Women enjoys making bad decisions. That was the feeling I got from her mom. Oh, you think she's a woman who enjoys making bad decisions? Maybe, maybe. I mean, she is. I mean, she has been with basketball players, and we know that most of them are notorious cheaters. So, I mean, I think she was just infatuated with Bello and the words that Bello spouted out. I think that those were the things that attracted her to him, and maybe his personality. And she got duped. I mean, I could have told you were gonna get duped with Bello. I always thought that Bello was kind of braggadocious. If we're being honest, I didn't think Bello was serious about anything, right? I thought Bello gave good words to people. Like I think he was a good wordsmith to attract and entice the women. But follow through, I just thought he was full of shit. If we're gonna be honest with you, with each other. Oh no, you fine. I had to read it again, but I knew I figured that's what you meant. So he said, but again, like I said, he said that he felt like they were in a vacuum and that he didn't really reflect on what he wants. Sir, you knew what you wanted. And here's the problem that I really truly have with you. I'm glad that they showed that clip of her talking about the miscarriages that she has, because she was very open and honest and vulnerable with you about being afraid to have another child. But she didn't say, she never, I don't think Dominique ever said that she was closed off to having kids. She was just afraid of herself getting pregnant because of how her body has treated her with her previous pregnancies. So you were very insensitive in what that woman said. But again, you didn't want to be with Dominique. And I believe what Dominique said, because it's something that I have been believing about Bello all season. So Dominique feels that the reason why he broke things off with her is because his personal life is in disarray. And I was like, I believe that. I absolutely believe that his personal life is in disarray, right? Because I don't know if it's financial. It could be financial, and it could be a lot of things, right? I mean, you do have a child that lives in Florida, and you're in Detroit, Michigan. So I'm pretty sure that can be very taxing and expensive, right? So I do believe that there are some things in his personal life that he didn't talk about and he didn't express to her. And the way that she's talking, it sounds like the way that Dominique was talking, it does appear that it might be some financial instability in Bellow's life. Um, you say I think Bellow can make great moves in the bed too. He probably can. He probably can. He probably can. Oh, you say you forgot about that Florida baby? I didn't. That is not something I ever forgot, that man got a daughter in Florida. So then Dominique says that Bello had a girlfriend. Okay. I was like, that makes sense too, right? Like, Ready to Love can be a great show, but I think in casting, they need to vet better. Because I feel like now that more people watch Ready to Love, I feel like more people probably come on there, not necessarily for the experience, but more so for the experience after the process. Potentially getting, I don't know what people do from Ready to Love, because I can't say brand deals or nothing like that, because OWN is not a big network, so I can't say that they get anything really truly out of Ready to Love other than 15 minutes of fame. So, but yeah, I really do think that Ready to Love needs to vet better when it comes to their casting process. But that's all that was discussed in part one of the reunion. If I left anything out, which I did leave something out, I left out that stupid ass game that they played, because I didn't care about that game. It wasn't anything of interest to me, so I didn't discuss it. But again, if you guys want to discuss it, leave it in the comments below and we can discuss it there. You say that baby was strike one, the other girlfriend was strike two, and lying about the finances is strike three. I agree. The baby really wouldn't have been the baby is not even really a strike for me. The only thing about the baby and the baby really it wouldn't be the baby that would be a strike. It is his impulse control that would bother me, because again, remember, Bello didn't know that woman. So Bello had a one night stand with a woman he did not know without a condom and got her pregnant. That would have been the red flag for me. It's like, you slept with somebody. Again, I don't. Now here's the thing: I ain't judging, because I done had my fair share of one. I done had my fair share, right? But I use a condom when I do it. But it's just the fact that you have a one night stand and with a person you didn't know and got her pregnant, and so now you're co-parenting with someone that you don't know shit about this woman for the next 18 years of your life. That's stupid, in my personal opinion. Seago, you say the lack of participation with the baby is a strike. Definitely, absolutely. I didn't like him saying he's been a father to the baby and seen it once. Like, Bello's a weirdo. This is in response to Chuck. He forgot about that Florida baby too. Not he forgot about the Florida baby too. He's not co-parenting. I don't understand how. Like, I don't get how. Here's the thing: I don't know how you can co-parent a child in a different state. That's impossible. Because kids need more than just monetary things. They need love. They need their parents to be there in their lives, in their day-to-day lives. Like, they need more than financial gains. But so I don't believe him when he say he's co-parenting. Like, here's the thing: if Bello had the funds, either you move the mother and the daughter to Detroit, or you move your ass to Florida and be around your child. First of all, where did you and this woman meet each other at to have a one night stand for her to be in Florida and for you to be in Detroit? Like, did you go to Florida on a birthday trip, a boys trip, and just met this girl at the bar at the club and said, "Let's go to the hotel or your place and have sex." Like that makes no sense to me. But whatever. It's his life. He got to figure it out. But you're too old for that shit first and foremost. And that's number one. You're way too old for that shit. But that's all I got for part one of the reunion. Again, like I said, if I left anything out, which I think I hit everything with the exception of that game that they played, I think I hit everything. But again, if I missed anything, drop down in the comment section and leave it there, and I will catch you guys in the next video. So I'm about to get off of here so I can go and finish Love After Lockup and then record that video and have it up for you guys very soon. But and then I got to do traders as well. So expect traders either today or tomorrow. One of the two. I can't really say when it'll be up because I've already taken the notes. I just got to record. I got to record it and put it up. So that's all, you guys. As always, you guys, thank you for joining the live. Be sure to like the live, share the video, leave your comments, and also, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.